Okay guys, welcome to a special presentation at Old Time Garage, and I'm hoping that Cort Elliott is watching this right now as he's getting inducted into the Greater Vancouver Motorsports Hall of Fame here up in British Columbia. And I'm hoping alongside him is Terry Kong. Now, for my viewers out there that don't know what this is all about, let me tell you. This is a car that got named back in the day Carried Away. And how this car all came to be was back in the early 60s, I'm going to say 62, George Wozniak took this car to a very famous man up here in British Columbia, Jack Williams. And please, I'm begging of you, anyone that doesn't know the name Jack Williams, please look him up. This guy is like an icon up here in British Columbia. You've got to look him up. Anyway, that's another story for another time, but if you look him up, you'll find it all. George took this car to Jack, who at that time was working in a laneway garage. He took it to him and he said, hey, I want to do something with this Chevy. He said, I want you to chop it and I want you to put 56 Packard taillights in it. Now, I will show you this stuff in a minute. Jack said, I can do that. Jack was a young man. He got out there. He was enthusiastic. He didn't have a lot of tools. What did he work with? He went and got a handsaw. He went and actually got several handsaws. From rumor has it, there was 3 involved. And he chopped the roof. And when I say handsaw, I don't mean hacksaw, guys. I mean a handsaw you're cutting down your fruit tree for. He cut the roof on the car. He did the Packard taillights. And he did a bunch of lead work. But as life goes on, George all of a sudden fell in love and he had to get married to a lovely young lady. Well, guess what that meant? It meant he had to put a ring on her finger. It also meant somebody had to sell something. George sold the car. Along comes Cort Elliott. Cort Elliott comes along and sees this car, and he sees the huge potential for this car as Jack is working on it. Cort says, Jack, let's continue the build on this car. So all of a sudden Cort says, let's do Lincoln quad headlights. You know how he came up with this idea? He was sitting in a restaurant, or at least I believe it could be a restaurant. I could be a little bit off here, Cort. If I am, I'm sorry. But anyway, the story is how it goes. And he drew this on a napkin. And he took it to Jack, and he said, that's what I want on the front. They molded in the grill. They put a tube grill. They rounded the hood corners, of course. This is a riser off 49 to 51 Chevys that would go on the rear, not on the front. There was many custom alterations to this car. Down on the Chevys, they got a piece of chrome that goes right here. Jack made a piece of chrome that matches that goes all the way here, because normally on these early Chevys the bumper wraps right around. You can see here how much has been filled, but he put a 56 Chevy bumper on, so this was all showing this panel. They put a piece of chrome to cover it. All this chrome has been custom made, and Jack did all that stuff. This is why you guys need to look up Jack Williams. You need to look up the Cort Elliott coupe. Go online, look up Cort Elliott. You will see the pictures, because unfortunately I'm not going to do a huge long video here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to do a short little basic video, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys. If you're true history guys, if you're true hot rodders, you'll look this shit up. And if you don't, then get off my website or get off my YouTube page, because you don't fit in with me. We're old school here. Anyway, Cort's being inducted right now. Hopefully Terry's sitting next to him. What happened was Cort Elliott went and he got this car done, and he belonged to the Shifters Car Club. And in 1962, he took it to the P&E Car Show. At least I believe it was 62. Correct me if I'm wrong. Might have been 61, but I'm certain 62. And he won. From there, yes, I got a special note right here because I can't remember some stuff. He took it to the Portland Roadster Show, and it won there. Then in 62, he took it to the World's Fair. The World's Fair, people, in Seattle. And it won there. We're talking a car, and I'm not bragging because we're Canadian, because I love my neighbors next door, the USA boys, because I'm down there all the time. But he was competing with guys like George Barris, Gene Winfield, Sam Foose. He was competing with all those kind of guys, and this car was winning. Now, why does it mean so much to me? In the good old US of A, you guys keep your history. You got tons of cars. In Canada, we fucking throw everything away. Everything's disposable. But there's very few history cars that survived, and this is one of them. And this car is still sporting all the lead in it that Jack put in it back then. This car is untouched from back then, except the paint is missing, and she's got some rust spots, and she's got some issues here and there, and she's sitting here in my shop, where Terry's been storing it for the last 5 years. What did this car mean back then? Give me 1 second. We're going to show you what this car meant. Okay, let's get this up here and show you guys what this car meant. Here we are. This book is Carcraft book. Here we go. Can you guys zoom in on this? Look at this. Unfinished at this showing is a sure winner in months to come is this Chop 51 Chevy Custom belonging to Cort Elliott, Vancouver. Late Chev 6 rides in a stepped ground hugging frame. Bodywork is superior quality. Trust me, every ad that was ever written on this car and every book always said the bodywork was superior. You have to remember, back then, show cars weren't what they were today. Today, everything is hand-rubbed and polished and spit-shined and, pardon the language, fucking chromed underneath and powder-coated. These guys could only afford one car. They drove their cars through the winter. They went back and forth to work every day in these cars. These cars were their show car, but they were their daily driver. That doesn't happen anymore nowadays. Nowadays, these cars that are built that are winning trophies sit in the garage and they only come out to win the plastic trophy. These cars were driven, and every year these guys would change them up a little bit to try and win a new trophy. Let's continue on. Let's continue on with our little story here. So this is Carcraft, September 62 that I just showed you. Let's get this one out of the way. Let's go on to this one. Now this one is, Carcraft, 1963. Give me 1 second. Whoops. Sorry about the wind, guys. Cort Elliott, Vancouver, took top honors in full custom coupe sedan class with his Chop 50 Chevy, 59 T-Bird buckets, Lincoln quads, Packard taillights, all add to the styling. Look at that design, people. Look at the cars around it that were competing. Winning again. And no, this is not about bragging. This is about me trying to keep the history of this car alive. Let's move on to the next. Okay. Here we go here. Now this book is Carcraft. Where's the date here? 1964. Here we go again. Old timers avowed Cort Elliott's 51 Chev has the finest bodywork ever seen. All panels are new, along with Lincoln headlights, tube grille, and Packard taillights. Car easily won full custom coupe class. There she is again, people. Now this car, over its time when it was being shown, it went through 3 colors. It was copper, then it went to like a pearlescent burgundy color, and then it went to green, which we'll talk about in a second. Here's the kicker. Here we go. Carcraft, 1963 December. Center. Here's where it got its name. Carried Away. Look at this car. I mean, I'm not going to read every article on this one, but look at, there's the chrome I'm telling you guys about. Right there. All this chrome was custom made. It was pinstriped all up and above the wheel wells, if you can make that. Sorry. The car was just unbelievable for the time. And not only that, Cort wasn't doing all the weird stuff. That he didn't do dummy spots lights. He didn't do fender skirts, because he said, everybody's doing that. I don't want to do that. Cort didn't want to do that, so he didn't. He was a thinker outside the box. Cort Elliott's car to this day is timeless. It was timeless then, and it's timeless today. After Cort showed the car for a while, he got rid of it. He sold it off to a gentleman named Bruce Metcalf. Bruce got the car, and thank God for you, Bruce, if you're out there. Big double thumbs up. A lot of these guys will take these cars when they buy them, and they'll show them. And of course, what everyone was doing to Bruce was they're saying, oh, you got Cort Elliott's old car. You got Cort Elliott's old car. Bruce went, he changed the wheels. He changed the color to a Corvette green that was around back then, and he continued to win trophies with this car. He also made up, in the back, if you can kind of see here, it's got T-Bird seats that Cort had in it. Now, when Cort was showing the car, he had the back covered. He never had any of this showing. It had like a tonneau cover. Bruce had those seats made out of wood in the back to match the front. So Bruce showed it for a while, and then I don't know exactly what happened. I think he showed it, I don't know for how many years, but the car, all of a sudden, Bruce got rid of it somewhere along the line. Only he would know. The car disappeared for a while, then it wound up in Burnaby on a car lot. From a car lot, it wound up at a service station. At this service station comes our latest caretaker of the car, Terry Kong. It was 1973. Terry, young buck, full of energy, sees this car sitting in a car lot. Knock, knock, knock. You want to sell that car? Yeah, I want to sell that car. Transmission's blown in it. You can come and get that car. How much you want for that car? Guy tells him a price. Terry says, I'll be back. Every time Terry went back with the money, the guy would never be there. Terry's coming home one day. I can't remember. I think he was riding the bus, actually. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. But let's say he was riding the bus. It makes the story even better. But this is all true stuff, people. He goes by and the car is missing. It's snowing. It's a winter day. He sees this big high lump of snow next to the service station. He's like, is that the car under there? Did they push all the snow from the lot over the car? Terry gets in there and starts going like this. He feels the car. Terry runs home, grabs a shovel, comes back, and starts digging this car out. The guy at the service station comes down, because I guess he lived above the station or something, says, "What the hell are you doing down there?" Terry says, "Look at this snow all over the bloody car. What are you doing to it?" And the guy says, "You still bugging me about that car? I want this car." Terry takes off before the guy knows what's coming on, comes back and throws the money in the guy's hand, and Terry Kong got the car. 1973, Terry Kong's had it ever since. Terry Kong drove it for a while. Loved it, took it out to a few shows. Didn't look the prettiest, but had fun with it. Back then, customs weren't in, so not a lot of people thought anything of it. Now I come along. I come along as an 18, 19-year-old punk, and I joined the graffiti car club, and I see this car. I don't know what it is either, but I look at it, and I'm like, holy shit, what is that? That is just like, to this day, I'm still like that. I mean, this car, I can make love to it. I fall in love with this car. Terry and I become friends. He kind of comes around my place once in a while. You know, he's dating all the ladies. He's coming over to my place. But of course, Terry's a little older than I am, but we're having a good time. I've got pictures of this car myself. I always loved this car. We lose contact for a while because I leave the graffiti car club. The graffiti car club kind of straggles on their own way. Politics get in the way, the same bullshit that y'all know happens. You straggle on. All of a sudden we hook up one day again. It's like, oh God, I miss you, man. Have you got the car? I always knew he had the car. A lot of people went around and they knocked. And I don't care if they're watching this right now. They knocked Terry Kong. Oh, Terry Kong, because now all of a sudden custom cars are back in again. And Terry had an original custom car. So they're knocking him. Oh, Terry Kong keeps that car in an underground storage. He's done nothing with it but sand the old paint off and get it up and running again. The thing's beat to snot. Because when Terry had the car, originally when he got it, it was all dented in here. And he didn't want to have anyone fix it but Jack Williams, because Jack did it. But Terry never had the money, and he never really approached Jack to do it. And so whether Jack would have done it or not, I don't know. I'm sure he would have. Anyway, so Terry drives the car around a little bit. Half the people out there love the car. The other half people are knocking Terry. Oh, look at that. He doesn't deserve that car. He shouldn't have that car. He doesn't do fuck all with that car. Pardon the language, all you young kids out there. Don't you do that at home. He shouldn't have that car. That shouldn't be his. Oh, but you know what? You forget to remember one thing. Granted, Terry never did spend any money really on the car. He never really did nothing. He put a tranny in it. He got up and running. He threw an engine in it. He threw some exhaust on it. That's it. That's all he did. He drove it. He kept it underground parking lot. $50 a month. There it sat. But the one thing Terry never did was he never changed or altered that car. He didn't start changing things on it. He always said, "I'm the caretaker of the Cort Elliott's coupe." And he went around and got every piece of literature he could on that car. And he loves this car, and he loves it to this day. Terry, all of a sudden, one day, a group of us, all my friends get together, and I keep bugging Terry. "Terry, I'll fix that car for you. I'll do work on it. No labor. You just pay me for the parts. Come on, Terry, bring that car over. Nope. One day he phones me up and says, "I'm going to bring the car over." I says, "Oh yeah, sure you are." "No, I'm going to bring the car over." So I'm sitting at home. It's a Saturday. I'm thinking, oh fuck, I'm wasting my time. This guy's not going to show up. He's done this to me before. He's not going to bring it because he doesn't want no one to touch his car. It rolls in my driveway. The car rolls in my driveway. And, you know, there's pictures of it. So he says, "We're going to go on a car run. I just want you to tune it up and check the brakes for me, please." And he came to me because I think he knew that he could trust me. I'm a friend, right? I'm not some shop that doesn't know what the car is. I'm going to keep it under lock and key. So 4 weeks go by and we had to leave for this run. It was 4 weeks and we had to go. In that time, some of you guys remember, the car was a faded out charcoal black, or because it went gray. The body mounts were rusted out. The wiring was atrocious. It was just horrible. I put a brand new wiring harness in it. I put all new body mounts and welded all the floors up. Perfect. I quickly sanded the sucker down and shot it in its flat black, which I'm not the proudest of right now. We didn't do any body work to it. I didn't straighten anything out. If you look at it, you can still see all the lead because it needs some filler primer to be blocked. I didn't do that. I just quickly painted it to get rid of the charcoal gray. But what I did do is I fixed at the time, for what I had for time, I fixed the front end the best I could. And a lot of people out there have noticed the front end's been fixed. And I'm not trying to be a bragger, but that was credit to us here at Old Time Garage. Well, Terry fell on the ground on his knees when he came to get the car. He comes around the back driveway and he says, "Where's the car?" And I says, "Oh, I put it out front." I go, "I washed it for you." I go, "I went through the brakes. I tuned it up. That's all I had time to do, Terry. I had 4 weeks. What do you want me to do? I got to work during the day." He comes around the front of my front lawn, the very spot I'm standing right now, only right behind me, and he drops to his knees. He couldn't believe it was the same car. Even though it's not perfect, he couldn't believe it. So, at that point, Terry's out showing it. He's having fun with it again, and there we go. Now, the sad news today is, if Terry's watching this or anyone's watching this, Terry has had quite a severe stroke and he's paralyzed from the left side down. So what are we going to do here? It's time. It's time to bring this car back out. Terry, Cort, I got a huge surprise for you. Old Time Garage is going to do the resurrection of the Cort Elliott, the carried away Chevy. We are going to bring this car back to life. We're going to make it better than it ever could possibly be. I am talking, we are going to, right now, Terry, if you're watching, I've ordered all new front suspension, stock, like it should be. I'm not going to convert it to disc brakes or power steering, any of that bullshit, because that wasn't what it was about then. I've ordered every single thing brand new for it. All your chrome that runs down the side that was off the car that I found when I helped you clean your locker out there, it's all at the chrome shop right now being replated. We are going to cover the labor, Terry, and we're going to cover the parts, materials, we're covering everything. The car is going to get done. Granted, it's not going to be 6 months or six years. It's going to give me a period of a 2-year window here. In a 2-year window, this car is going to be done. It's going to be finished. We're not going to do anything to this car that wasn't done to it then. I'm not stripping any of the lead out of it. I'm not going to do any. What my plan is we're going to put it back one of the colors that it was. Everyone can sit out there and wonder what color is he going to go. Is he going to go the copper? Is he going to go the burgundy pearlescent, or is he going to go the green? It's going to come back one of those colors. It's going to have the white balls back on it. It's going to have the wheels back on it. It's going to have everything like it was back then in one of the photos. Which one? That's going to be the surprise to everyone. So you're going to have to stay tuned and watch Old Time Garage. You're going to have to look at our website. You're going to have to follow us on the ham a little bit. We're going to be doing this car. We're going to do it for you, Terry. But most of all, why am I doing it? It's about the car. Like I told you the first time you brought me this car and I did that and you said, what I owe you, I said it's about the car. That's all it's about. So we're going to go over this car and we're going to fix it right. We're going to start with the running gear and do everything that needs to be done. Now, there will be a shirt coming out. Yes, you're going to have to watch my website then, all you people, if you're interested. There's going to be a shirt coming out, and it's going to be about Carried Away. It's going to have this car on it. It's getting designed right now. Should be 3 to 4 weeks. The shirt will be out. All the proceeds are going to go towards this car. Okay? So what I'm going to do right now is I wanted to show you one last thing in the book. Here's our latest magazine right here. Canadian Hot Rods has an article here where it's the BCHRA 60th anniversary. They're talking about all the old custom cars. If you can see right there, there's this car when it's in copper. It shows right here, Bruce Metcalf, 1964. It's got all the Cort Elliott's 51 Chevy. This is back then. And you can see it, there's the copper. Back then. Here it is when it was in the beautiful burgundy. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh. Anyway, at left is Cort Elliott's 51 Chevy, which by this late 60s photo is now repainted by Bruce Metcalf. Jack Williams, there's Jack Williams, look at that. That held the record, people, back then. Jack Williams, Syndicate Scuderia. There you go, roads are great. They closed down the Great Northern Way in Vancouver so he could try this car out. The photo hasn't got a date on it, but it was doing 174 miles an hour with an ET of 8.7. This car still holds records to this date. And this is Jack Williams. And like I say, there's the car right then. Now, 63 top 10 winner Chevy, top 10. This car is still around, which reminds us we should try and find it and do a proper feature. Well, there you go, Hot Rods. You just put that car in there. You want to find us? Here we are, Old Time Garage. We're going to build it. We're going to fix it. We're going to do it right. We almost forgot one thing, which I want everyone to see. This is how much this car means. Carcraft magazine. I told you it was one of the top 10 custom cars around. There you are. It was it. With Cort's name still written on the back, they gave it to him. A car like this deserves more. So, we're going to give it to it. Now, we're going to give you a quick little brief. We'll give you a little walk around for those who haven't seen it. So here you go. This is it in. Here's the state it's in right now. It's still looking good. It's a mighty fine project. But I mean, we need to take stuff like this and have it re-chromed. Now, what I want to say real quick, if I can, to anyone out there, there is certain things I'm not going to do. See these seats? Originally, when it was in one color, they were like a copper, which you can see right here. When it was burgundy, they were a copper and a bronze and white. The bronze is now gone, but I'm not going to touch stuff like this. The seats, the door panels, what you see right here, the carpet's a bit faded out. This is stuff I'm not going to touch because it's only original like this once. But stuff like this, where you see the paint coming off, this is the last color it was ever painted. This was a Corvette color. I believe it was a 68 or 69 color. You'd have to ask Bruce Metcalf if you're out there. Tell everyone in the room right now, Bruce, if you're there, what color it actually is. This was the last color it was painted, but stuff like this we're not going to mess with. We're not going to touch a headliner, we're not going to touch door panels, seats. We're just not going to mess with that. We're not going to mess with all the old gauges and that. That's history. You don't want to mess with something like that. But we do want to straighten all this kind of stuff up. We want to get the body. This body will be blocked and flawless and straight as an arrow. It'll have gorgeous paint on it, and it will be back one of the colors. We are going to re-chrome what chrome needs redoing. Let's get around the back here. Like the bumper is starting to get rusty. It's getting rust flakes. We're going to redo the bumpers. Obviously the Packer taillights are getting pitted up. We're going to have to redo those. We're going to do some work to it. But we're going to do it, and we're going to do it for the car. So hey guys, I don't know what else to tell you. It's just been a long enough video already as it is.
You want them to contact you, right?
Oh yes, I want, please, I want you guys to go straight to me. I don't want any inside people in between. Cort, Elliot, Freddie Welsh, because he was the one who painted this car, Bruce Metcalf, all you guys, please contact me. You know who I am, Old Time Garage. Look up my stuff and contact me. I need to talk to you guys about this car. But other than that, no one needs to worry. The car is in good hands now. It's been stored here for the last 5 years, and I've looked after this baby with all of everything. I put everything into this car. I just love this car. So, that's it. There you go, guys. I hope that you're going to have a good evening tonight, Cort, if you're out there, and I pray to God you got to see this video, and if you didn't, at the ceremony, I hope someone tells you about it and you get to see it at home. Terry, all my best wishes to you. I hope you get better. I haven't talked to you in at least a couple weeks now, but I don't care what you say. I know it's your car. I'm doing the car, so unless you want to come and grab it out from underneath me, I'm doing this damn car, and I've already started, buddy, so there ain't no stopping now. The ball is rolling. What do I want from this, Terry? I don't want money. I don't want anything like that. You know what I want, Terry? When the car's done, I want to take it back down to the Portland Roadster Show with your approval. I want to take it to the Seattle Roadster Show. Holy shit, I'll take it to the Grand National Roadster Show. I want to take it to these shows, and I want to show it again, Terry, because this car needs to be shown out there, because there's too many people that are building beautiful cars just like this today, and these history cars are getting lost in amongst them, because people are building cars that look like history cars. They just are. This needs to get out there, and it needs to get out there now, and now's the time. So please, let me take it to these shows. Keep in mind, I'm going to tell you one thing. If when we take it down to these shows, Terry, that's right, you got to come with me. It's your car, man. We ain't trailering that son of a bitch. We're driving it, because that's what was done back then. They were driven. So hey, stay tuned to Old Time Garage, because we're going to build the Cort Elliott coupe. Always a good time.